Welcome back to JA Inspire's virtual career fair. I'm your host, Dr. Troy Podell, and with us for this next segment is a twofer, two amazing gentlemen working for a fantastic company called Bentley Systems in southeastern Pennsylvania, Don and Dan. Don Robbins is the director of the Technical Graduate Development Program at Bentley Systems, and Dan Koval is the Corporate Initiatives Manager. Gentlemen, welcome, and thank you so much for making the time to be with us today.
Good morning, Troy.
Morning, Troy. Thank you.
Don and Dan, you guys have some pretty interesting titles for your profession. So I'm curious, Don, I'll start with you, and then I'll ask Dan for you to chime in. Don, what exactly does the Technical Graduate Development Program Director do?
So for me, I run a program for newly graduated software developers. When we hire someone out of college, it's their first job, and we kind of treat them special. We want to show them our company. Our company does a lot of stuff, a lot of different projects and everything. So we have a 2-year rotational program put together for these new colleagues, and they do six-month rotations on 4 different teams. So during the span of the 2 years, they're working on a team that might do database stuff or something that's doing cloud technology. And at the end of these 4 rotations, we talk to them, we talk to them all through it. I kind of coach them through these 2 years. And at the end of their time, when they graduate, we put them on the team that fits best for them. Usually there's a very good mutual attraction between technologies and teams. So I oversee all that, and it's a global program, and I run it for North America.
So you essentially bring someone into the fold and help them find their fit.
Yes, exactly. And it's, and it's a lot of, in your first job in your career, there's a lot of, getting your confidence going and stuff like that. There's a lot of mentoring and coaching and just figuring out, how to work every day is a big thing.
Amen. Dan, how about yourself? What does the Corporate Initiatives Manager do?
Man, I wish I knew what that title actually meant. That's how I start off every conversation. I don't know what the words really mean, but what I do and I get to do is I manage all of Bentley's corporate giving and community outreach all around the globe. Like Don said, we're a global company in 40 countries. We've got about 4,000 folks that work for us. So I help them make the world literally a better place by helping give away some of Bentley's hard-earned money.
That's awesome. You get to engage with folks like me who work in the public and philanthropic space and do good things. And we're certainly super grateful for Bentley's presence in the Downingtown area school district. It's been a fantastic partnership for us both. Gentlemen, I'd like to move to the why question, right? This is JA Inspire. What inspired you to pursue the careers that you have?
So for me, my career path at Bentley is a long one. I started, way back last century, I always say, with the company. So I had started as a software tester. I was a user. I used Bentley software before I started in another company. And a lot of people from that company went to Bentley, as Bentley was growing at that point. And I started out as a tester, and I was kind of recognized and moved my way up to manager, and then ran teams of testers. And I was lucky enough that upper management realized I was a good people manager and organizer, that when we started the graduate development program, that they tagged me to help organize it and get it started. So for me, it was a little bit about my managers finding my skill set and putting me in the right place. And I'm an extrovert, I'm an organizer, I'm a cheerleader coach kind of person. And for them to recognize me, I was very lucky with this. And one of the great things of Bentley is they do a very good job. You might never work in what you're hired for, and they can see what you're good at. If you've got really good managers and mentors and everything, they can kind of put you in the right slot. So that's kind of how I ended up at this position in a completely new program, that we started in 2012. So it's been good. It's been a good fit. And that kind of inspires me, being like this teacher now, helping people helping young colleagues getting their start in their careers.
Dan, how about you? Same question.
Yeah, so I mean, I think ironically, Don and my stories are fairly similar in that, I mean, I haven't been here since last century. I don't have those accolades to tout. I've only been here for 13 years, but I'm in my fourth major role at Bentley. We have a very diverse opportunity, being a global company, doing lots of jobs and lots of roles all throughout it. But all through what I had done previously in the technical world and technical support, licensing, some internal IT stuff. The Bentley family and the culture at Bentley is very giving back. And so I've always been involved with things like Big Brother, Big Sister, the Future City mentoring program, things like that. And so it was through that. And again, just like Don said, we had the upper management came down and sought me out and said, hey, we see that you love to give back and be involved in the community. The role had opened up at a couple of years ago, and they said, hey, would you like to manage this? Like, we see that you're involved outside of the office, out through the workplace opportunities, and we think that you might be a good fit for this. And so it was them kind of nurturing me and coming down and seeing what I like to do. And they said, hey, come try this out. And it's been phenomenal ever since.
So, gentlemen, I want to pivot for just a moment toward, and thank you for your thoughtful answers to that, toward the question of education. What sort of education did you need to attain in order to attempt your career?
So it's interesting for me. My degree is in photography, so but it kind of led me to my jobs, right? So it was kind of an entry point. One of the great things with Bentley is we do a lot of in-house training, and we do a lot of things. So I've learned a lot of my management skills and people skills from in-house training. They want us to do that. We've got opportunities to go out, and there's libraries of stuff we can go use, and that, and I also consider having good mentors training, right? I've had some great bosses at Bentley who have taught me stuff, and I try to take a little bit from everyone along the way, and at the end of the day, treating others, that the golden rules, right, that you live by. So
the ultimate education, right?
Yes.
Dan, same question.
Yeah, so I do not have a formal secondary education myself. I have some college credits, but I actually came in off the street as a temp. Bentley was going through some internal IT changeovers and had a lot of super fun data entry to do. And just given the opportunity, I was willing to work and stick with it, and then just show my willingness to learn. And several times, the opportunity presented itself where they said, hey, do you want to learn this new skill? Do you want to learn this new task? Always saying yes to opportunities to help people has really been one of the biggest benefits for me. Being willing to work hard, but then also being willing to help out when the opportunity presented itself. And it's every time I made a job change internally, it's been because I was willing to kind of reach out and help out where I could. And then the opportunities continue to present themselves, and just took a chance. I mean, I'm not, I do not have any background in what I do right now, or really any of the roles I've had. And so it's just been willingness to try something new out.
Well, and gentlemen, I'm an educator. My undergraduate degree is in broadcasting and telecommunications. I mean,
Okay.
it's funny that I'm using it right now.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's interesting. I read a Federal Reserve Bank of New York study from a couple of years ago that says about 3/4 of folks with a post-secondary degree are working in an unrelated career field. And I think it's both of your stories are so important for our younger viewers to see, to dispel the myth that you go on your post-secondary track and then you pursue that particular career and you stay in that particular career lane, if you will. That actually it's a matter of continuing to learn, saying yes to opportunities that are put in front of you, and continuing to figure it out as you go.
Exactly.
To that end, it's a logical transition point for folks that are looking to get into your line of work. People watching us right now, what advice do you have for them on how to break in?
So for me, I'll concentrate on software development. We look for people that are passionate about it, right? I always say, we look for people that want a career, not just a job. And there is a difference. And, for us, so what we look for are bright students that like to solve things and programmically. We're engineers that like programming. We are an engineering, we make engineering software, so it's important to, you can have this combination. But for us, we look for people that program for themselves, maybe solve their own problems via programming. Also are in programming clubs, maybe contribute to open source, projects that are on the web, and internships. Internships are the most important thing for us at the end of the day. Internships lead to jobs, and I cannot stress enough to everyone that internships are really important when you're in college, and it gives you a chance to see if this is really what you want to do. Gives you a chance to try out different companies and see how, whether that company's a good fit for you, because internships lead to jobs. And we hire practically everyone into my program out of an internship.
Oh, wow.
And, 100% of our hires this year were former interns. But it's also giving you a chance to see this is really what you want to do in your life, right? And I recommend doing as many different internships as you can. And I also want to say that internships on a resume and everything are very important, because I've seen people looking for full-time jobs that are graduating that might have a 3.95 or 3.96 coming out of college, GPA, that never worked a day in their life. And that versus someone that's a 3.2 that had 3 great internships, I'm going to go with the internship person.
Because you don't have to teach that person how to work necessarily.
Exactly. So, and they also understand how it is to work in a corporate environment such as ours.
Dan, how about yourself?
Yeah, so I've had the opportunity to speak with other folks in my field. I didn't know that this was an opportunity. So kudos to those students who are listening right now that could find out that giving away someone else's money is actually a job. So it was life-changing for me for sure. But even those folks in the community, and though the CSR, corporate social responsibility management is a smaller net or smaller path to go down, almost everyone I've talked to that's in the field, they all came about it from being an employee at a company that considered giving back an important piece, and they just volunteered their time. It was like a natural progression of things. And again, it goes back to being willing to help out, being willing to get your primary responsibilities done, right? Having good work ethic, sticking to it, achieving goals, completing things, and then just being willing to help out where you can. And just a lot of times it becomes just a natural progression to fit into the role as those teams develop, as that part of the organization expands, just being able to jump into that.
Thank you. Gentlemen, we have a little less than a minute for each of you to answer this final question, if you'd be so kind as to indulge.
Okay.
You've got your 17-year-old self by the shoulders. What do you tell him?
So I just want to say real fast that my 17-year-old would be very surprised and proud of me, how I turned out. I was, 17, I was a little different. But I would tell him to take school seriously and take time to talk to people, do different jobs to see what might interest, and marry your interest and your talents and make that your career. And if you can do that, you've got something great that's going to happen to you. And if you don't mind getting up and going to work every day, it's awesome.
Yeah, I would echo that. That find your passion, and if you could do your passion and get paid for it, that's just that you never work a day in your life. But also to not follow the dollar, follow your desire and do what makes you feel alive, because there's nothing worse than having to get up and do something you don't want to do all day long with people you don't want to be around all day long. So go find something to get you excited, get you out of bed in the morning, go do that.
Exactly.
Don, Dan, I couldn't think of a better place to end it than that. Thank you both so very much for making the time with us. And please be safe, take care. And for those watching, we'll be right back after a brief break.
Thank you, Troy.
Thank you, Troy.